Runner Goofy.
Welcome to Midlife Crisis. This is a very special solo mission that I'm conducting. Right now, unfortunately, Uncle Bob is on assignment. As you can see his vacated seat there, but that's fine. We think ahead of these things. And when these things come up, it's basically just an opportunity. And it's an opportunity for me to brag about the cool shit that I own, which is something I don't get to do publicly enough, as in ever. So this is a first time for me. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Yeah, I'm wearing really pink shorts. I'll go ahead and pose for you. Here you go. Look at those things. I mean, friggin' come on. So, aside from the pink shorts, there's a pink anti-static bag right there, as you can see, on the table. And on top of that is a big beauty. So, I probably have talked about this on the show before. I had to have. I think I had to have. I love Splatterhouse. And so, I'm going to play every single Splatterhouse game that I own on this program for, if no one else, just me. It's one of those. It's like the old studio system. You know, you do one for them, you do one for me. So I talk about real-time strategy games for that guy who is not here. And then for me, you know, I'm going to play Splatterhouse. So right here is a bona fide, real deal, legitimate Namco 1988 Splatterhouse arcade PCB. It is, without a doubt, my prized possession. I've had this thing since 2013. I acquired it via a very good friend of mine. And it's one of those games where it was like a dream, an absolute dream to get this thing. I've always wanted to do this very thing that you see here on the table. So this is a super gun. If you're my age, you probably remember video game ads in like GamePro for a company called Mass Systems. They used to sell a super gun, and I remember reading that stuff and being so enamored with the idea of owning an arcade at home, even if it was just a board and this machine here. So that the Mass Systems super gun is pretty legendary. In reality, in practice, several years ago, through a friend, he actually got an original Mass System super gun. And it stunk really bad. It smelled like chemicals because of the really bad particle board. And it only had composite video out, so that kind of stunk. But it was one of those things where I was happy to finally, you know, check that box off the list. But back to the matter at hand here. Let's get back to that thing. So all of these are legit proms, and I'm going to add some footage on top of this where I'll do like a real nice overview of the board here. But everything here is legit. There's been no work done to the board. I don't have any clue how much this game is worth. It's probably, I don't know when the last one was sold, somewhere in the thousands, I'm guessing. But that doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me, because I will never sell this thing so long as I have the you know, power to not need to sell it. So, you know how that goes. I think all of you out there know exactly how that goes in this horribly destructive hobby of ours. Here in the shot, you can see I have a RetroTink 5X that's going SCART into the super gun here, or out, rather, into the, you know what I mean. Shut up. Look at that Splatterhouse board. Also, I have a Neo Fighting Stick 2 here. This is my controller of choice with the super gun, because the super gun is old school and only has D sub 15. None of that USB shit for me, even though it is obviously really good and I wish I had it, but I'm very cheap. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to coin up Splatterhouse here, which is pretty funny to do that. I'm just pushing a button that puts coins, you know, virtual coins in the virtual machine here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop Splatterhouse up there. And then I'm going to go whammo and appear in the bottom left of the screen. So, yeah, Splatterhouse is one of those games for me where it was like a totally taboo experience. I only read about it, that kind of a thing. The only my only interaction with Splatterhouse when I was a kid was at an old arcade in Northern California called Sam's Town, and that place was a wonderland. It had such cool games there. I'm talking Splatterhouse. I'm talking that motion Space Harrier game where it's like a semi kind of a ride deal. I'm talking Holosseum. You know, if you know a little something about weird ass Sega games, Holosseum is kind of the dream. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stand right here for a second because I do wanna provide sound because Splatterhouse music rules. That should be giving us sound there. Hope so. Oh God! So yeah, if you just stand there, Rick, not Jason. Repeat, not Jason. Rick will be eaten up by purple haze, which, if you know anything about old school wrestling, Mark Lewin, the Purple Haze, was a real crazy dude. All right, so as you can see, Splatterhouse has earned its name. I cannot tell you what it was like when I was 8 years old, seeing and playing Splatterhouse in person and splatting dudes against a wall. At that time, I was way into Jason, as a lot of other 40-year-olds, today 40-year-olds were at that same age, because our parents didn't give a shit about what we rented. Anyway, Jason was the best, owned a Jason mask, and obviously, as was intended by Namco, this game was Jason the video game, obviously, and that's why everyone wanted to play it. So, I, full disclosure, have played this game many, many, many times. I'm not giving it 100% because I'm trying to chit-chat over it here, but I'm pretty all right at Splatterhouse. I'll say that. I'm pretty all right. I haven't considered actually going for like a high score or anything like that, although maybe I should, just to throw my hat in that ring. I am, if for no other reason, that I am a gigantic Splatterhouse fan. So level 2, here we go. Chopping dudes as you do. So yeah, every time you beat a level, you get you're rewarded with 1 bit of health. I'm pretty sure I have my board's dip switch settings set to the easiest mode. And all that really does in Splatterhouse is it gives you an additional hit point, those little hearts on the bottom left. And I know I would have to set that bad boy back to normal if I wanted to compete for score, which, you know, cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, just take this in. Look at all this absolutely beautiful 1980s violence. Yeah, the blood is green, and yeah, Mortal Kombat would, you know, fix that situation and provide us all with the right color gore just a few years after this game. But there is some stuff later on that is still, I mean, shocking is probably not the right word. Shock, you know, there is some really weird heavy-duty shit out there these days on Steam alone, but you know, like I think in level 5, if I get there, Jennifer's boss, it's pretty grisly how she kind of, her skin tears apart and turns into a monster, that kind of a deal. So Splatterhouse 1, in this form, a little bit of trivia, it was finally physically released in the United States just a few years ago for the Namco arcade pack for the Switch. It's the sole reason why I bought that, was to have yet another physical thing that had Splatterhouse on it. Yes, obviously this game did come out on the TurboGrafx 16 way back when, I think 1990, 89. That was the purple mask version that a lot of kids grew up playing. So I never saw that one when I was a kid, only read about I mean in general, like with TurboGrafx, kind of read about it far more than I ever actually got to play it. And then, you know, a little thing called emulation happened in the mid and late 90s, and then we were off to the races. Okay, that's my first death. Not bad. I made it to the boss of level 2 here. Not too shabby. I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on playing and a little bit less on being a loudmouth idiot. Oh God, I always forget about that guy. I should maybe make this full screen. I'm gonna reach over and do that. This is just for me. There we go. That's so much better. Okay. Yeah, it is fucking lousy when ghosts throw knives at you. But lucky for me, I'm buff, and I have a Jason mask on. It's not something I've ever gotten to say in my real life. One day, and it's hopefully not in court. Okay, so here we come. This is the tricky part. I have this guy memorized. The jumping is just so. Booyah! One more. There we go. And at the end of every boss, they'd like to trick you. So see if I was a mark, I would have been under there, and I would have been obliterated. But Daddy's a pro. Here we go. Stage 3. 4 hearts are back. This level, the boss of it, is probably one of the more famous things about Splatterhouse. His name is Biggie Man, which I've always thought, ever since I learned his name is Biggie Man, I've always thought, huh, that is an interesting name for that fella. He's got chainsaws for arms. He has the original Jason Voorhees bag over his head, mask, that whole deal. All right, so here we go. I don't want to get pulled under because it sucks down there. Still have a shotgun. Fuck you, birds. You're my precious babies. You're my delicate flowers. You're never going to leave me. You're never going to let me down. You're my babies. You're my chip-chips. You're my precious treasures. Oh, God. Oh, never leave my side. Oh, never leave my side. You're my precious. You're my precious treasures. My special moments, dolls. All my dreams. All my wishes. Oh, God. Oh, my precious babies. Don't ever leave. My angels. Oh, God, my angels. Okay. So we're going to get there. Here comes some more creepy crawlies. That guy has, acid vomit, and that stinks. And stings. Now let's get in that shotgun. Booyah. Here's Biggie Man. So the trick to this guy, and I kind of already blew it, is obviously you want to hit him with all of your shotgun blasts. Then you want to do the special kick that Rick can do, which is so hard on this stupid controller. But there it is. Oh. You jump and hold diagonal down right, and right as you hit the ground, attack. And that's how you do that slide kick. If you get him with every shotgun blast and one of those kicks, he's dead. If you don't do that, he will kill you. Pretty much every single time. Booyah. You know, it's always the little bastards in games like this that are the most annoying. Not these holier-than-thou acid pukers. They're fine. Okay, here we go. So a trick here is to not get that shotgun. Get him with your fists. Let this idiot walk into your fist. Now shotgun. So that should be 8 shots, all to Biggie Man, straight to the dome. And then we get him with that special kick. We should drop him. All right. And it goes. Oh, already blew it. It's over. Ah. I'm just gonna go full ham, as the kids said 10 years ago. Damn it. Oh, God bless it. All right, one more life. One more life to go here. Okay. So get the rock of destruction, and booyah. So yeah, Splatterhouse rules, still rules, always will rule. I was even a big fan, and I'm going to play it on this channel, dadgummit, but even the Xbox 360 Splatterhouse is awesome. I think it's awesome by itself, but if for no other reason, if you like this series, that's a way to get the whole thing. Splatterhouse Arcade, and then 2 and 3 for Genesis are unlockable in that, and it's a good way to own them. Also, special shout out to Evercade. They have like a little cartridge that has Splatterhouse 2 and 3 on them, which is pretty sweet. Okay, let's just go for it. Still gonna get me though. You see, he's got chainsaws for arms. That's what makes him so tricky. All right, there we go. There we go. Made it to level 4. Here we go. So This version of this level, the arcade version, ends in a boss where you have a like golden meat cleaver type of a deal, I think, if I'm remembering that right, or maybe it's the axe. We'll get there. But anyway, that's whichever way it goes. That's a way that it was edited. In addition to that purple mask that Rick wears in the original U.S. release for TurboGrafx, they do censor some of the bosses. I believe this one has some sweet upside down crosses that they got rid of for the American release, which is sad if you dig Bathory like I do. I'm gonna skip the name there, and I'm gonna give it one more continue and just see where it gets me. So this is 2 credits on easy. I'm just starting level 4. Yeah, I still think by and large, Splatterhouse, it still looks great. Like, if obviously your mileage is going to vary, you need to like horror stuff, horror movies, scary stories, all that fun stuff. Death metal, special shout out to death metal. But I'm one of those weirdos that is, I've loved all that stuff since I was a kid. Still do. Still have a little bit of the Peter Pan syndrome when it comes to all that stuff. But Splatterhouse still, all these years later that I've owned this board and I've played so many times, it's still so special to me. I think, in reality, I've heard estimates that in America, there is somewhere around 100 of these. And if that's true, which I'm not claiming that it is, only that I've read it on the internet. If that's true, that makes this even more special to me, that I have something that's so legitimately rare, and it's something that I love, and I think is a good game. So that's like that's a Triforce. A lot of times, really rare games are just hot carnival garbage, and they're only expensive because of their rarity, and sometimes not even that. But it's really cool when it's all 3. When it's a good game, when it's worth a ton of money, and it's legitimately rare. It's just fun, Makes this creepy hobby a fun thing to engage in. Oh yeah. This is obviously Mirror Rick. He is an asshole, and he gets turned into dust. So next part, which I believe is where are we? Forget. Yeah, the boss. Okay. So yeah, I believe that's what you're gonna see is so the middle of it, the upside down cross, that is a different thing in the U.S. release, but it's in that Namco pack for the Switch. I believe it is the upside down cross. So there you go. Heavy metal wins again. So yeah, the trick to this is obviously you just get into a rhythm, and you always have to look over your shoulder. And then when the dude comes, I'm gonna lose. I stay here and whack him in the corner, and didn't get him. Okay, let's give this another shot ski. Give it another shot ski. What? Fucking come on. You ever get mad at yourself? I don't. No filter. Here we go. So it is a normal axe, and I think in the TurboGrafx. So that's an upgrade. You lose the heavy metal upside down cross, but you gain a golden meat cleaver, which is a fair trade. I'm gonna say it. I think that's a fair ass trade. I'm gonna do a special shout out to the road dogs at arcadeworks.net, makers of the Omega CMVS and the very super gun that I'm using. Shout out to the main man Quan, who's also the guy who helped me procure this arcade game. So double shout out. You probably won't watch this though, because you are busy and don't like Splatterhouse. I'm sucking here, gang. I'm not gonna lie. Usually I can get past this guy. One. Come on. Let's wait for him. Let's camp. Camp him. Got him. Boom. And we got a free life on that. So we're making it all the way to stage 5. This is, again, I've only done 2 credits. It is on easy. Yes, it is. I understand that. However, we're going for it. And the end of this stage is just like a little sound effect, a little jump scare. which I actually can't hear it. So I may be talking over it like a fool. Oh well. Any day now. Okay, here we go. So, stage 5. This is, when I first got this board, this was my white whale. It took me a lot of times to finally get past this stupid stage. And I think actually this stage is the reason why I, in fact, mess with the dip switches to put it on easy, to be fully transparent with you. But now I do have it pretty well down. So there's branching paths in Splatterhouse, a little talked about feature. A lot of people just write this game off as a, you know, kind of like a Bad Dudes like. It's not even like a brawler. It is more of like a Rolling Thunder Bad Dudes type of a game, which I love. But a lot of people don't like it, understandably. I mean, they are kind of primitive. Final Fight did give you a Z-axis and what have you. So these creepy crawly hands here. There is a timing to them. There we go. Very good. Yep. I'm actually doing pretty good. If I get past this and then die in the next spot, I should respawn in the next spot. And look at that. The kids still got chops. Still got the chops. All right, to the 5 of you who are watching me play Splatterhouse, I do hope you're learning some tricks and strategies. I am not talking about them. I'm kind of just doing them subconsciously. But, you know, I'm also not, like, super duper good at this game either. But, you know, we're just sailing on the wind. All right, here we go. This sequence here sucks. It is real hard. You always have to double back like this to punch these faces, but then dodge the skulls. I find if you focus on the purple ladies with the skulls first and then stay on the left of the paintings, you have a better shot of getting past this. There we go, perfect. Also, if you fall in that hole, you go to a real dumb spot where there are regenerating zombies. Here comes Mirror Rick. We're ready for him. Oh, you got me, trickster. So actually, I'll do a little. In the next, I'll do the next one. You can do the glitch here too, but basically, if you put Rick in a certain spot while the screen auto scrolls, you become invincible, and Mirror Rick cannot attack you. But Mirror Rick also gives you a fair amount of points. But yeah, see that? I wasn't controlling that walk. But you can do the same thing in this stage, which actually is really helpful if you're just trying to 1-credit this game, and because this part can be pretty cheap. So what I do is I try to do this. I go after them as they spawn, as quickly as possible, which I am sucking at. And he goes for a little while. Survive. Now I'm going to walk all the way to the right of the screen. Oops. Do it on the next turn. But if you keep doing that and you walk all the way to the right of the screen, Rick will get locked in there, and then you are invincible. So it's a little cheat ski to get by. Oh, no, not yet. So what's going to happen is that, yeah, you got it. Yep, so I'm just going to walk, and it should be fine. See that? Boom, invincible. Take that. Take that, arcade operator. I stole from you. And this is Jennifer. So this is Rick's main squeeze, to quote the great Bam Bam Bigelow. But she has been possessed by some sort of demon. And transformation is here. This boss sucks. It is. It's got an easy to learn pattern, which is cool. But as you learn that pattern, it sucks. Okay. And I already started off wrong. So you want to attack and get out of the way as soon as possible, by whatever means necessary. And I'm not going to do it today. Not going to do it today. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this, and we're back. So. Anywho, that's Splatterhouse 1. I'm going to play Splatterhouse 2 and 3 and the Famicom Splatterhouse and every version of Splatterhouse that I can get my hands on. The Marty one's going to be tricky. because FM Towns Marty costs way too much money for, being pretty crappy. So maybe put a pin on that, or I'll try to emulate it. But anyway, this is happening. I am going to play every Splatterhouse game on Midlife Krisis, and until Uncle Bob returns from assignment, that's going to be it. So I'm just going to dole these out, and you know what? Splatterhouse for the win. Splatterhouse all day, every day. I love you so much. To Splatterhouse.